Recent international chatter has centered on a rumored high-profile meeting between former U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin in Beijing this coming September. According to widespread speculation, the meeting would mark their first encounter since Trump's return to the White House. However, Russian officials quickly dismissed these reports, clarifying that no such meeting is scheduled. The rumors gained traction largely due to their timing. September marks the 80th anniversary of China's victory in the Second Sino-Japanese War, a significant historical milestone for the country. Celebrations are expected to include a large-scale military parade, one potentially surpassing even China's National Day events in scope and symbolism. Russian President Vladimir Putin has reportedly accepted an invitation to attend. Should Trump also make an appearance, it would undoubtedly become a globally significant event. Yet there has been no official indication that Trump will attend. This ambiguity has only heightened public interest and fueled further speculation. Analysts suggest two primary motivations behind the sudden spread of this rumor. One theory is that the story was strategically seeded by individuals aligned with Trump or the Republican Party. By associating Trump with global powers like China and Russia, particularly in such a highly symbolic setting, the narrative reinforces his image as a dominant international figure. In a period when the U.S. is pushing for new tariffs, with global resistance from traditional allies such as the European Union and Japan, the idea of a Trump-Putin-China alliance may be intended to provoke and shift global perceptions. Another possibility is that Trump's political opponents are behind the narrative. Opponents may be attempting to portray Trump as inconsistent or even hypocritical, especially given his historically tough rhetoric on China and Russia. If such a meeting were perceived as real, it could cast doubt among his core supporters, particularly those in traditionally conservative, industrial regions of the U.S. These voters may struggle to reconcile Trump's critical stance on Beijing and Moscow with participation in a high-profile event hosted by China. Meanwhile, attention continues to focus on whether the Trump-Putin meeting will take place at all. While Russian officials have confirmed their intention to meet in the future, they maintain that the timing is not yet appropriate. Three key factors may influence the decision. First, the success or failure of the U.S. trade policy under Trump could accelerate diplomatic engagement. Second, developments in the Russia-Ukraine conflict may necessitate strategic recalibration. Finally, tensions in the Middle East, particularly involving Israel, could create pressure for dialogue among major powers. For China, offering a neutral venue for such talks could enhance its role as a diplomatic broker. However, any future summit will ultimately depend on decisions made by Washington and Moscow. Until then, speculation will likely continue to swirl, reflecting the shifting dynamics of global politics in a multipolar world.